Hello everyone, welcome back. In this game we are playing against I am George. I believe we played against him in the past. And he likes this b3 on move 1. And yeah, let's try one of the most principal lines. I believe now queen e7 is the move. Then d4 many players play against me. c4 is a bit more challenging, because now I have this sequence of queen g5 attacking g2, and then here I think a6 was the move as far as I can remember. It could have been knight g7 also. So either way I'm quite happy with my position. After c4 I got a6. Now either queen f5 or queen f6, both should be good. Queen f5, g4, then queen f6 also looks kind of promising. And we get kind of the Macachin variation of the French reverse. So it looks quite good for me. I'm pretending to play the white side, and he weakened some of his white squares with all these moves, and actually used this extra tempo as white to play b3 and bishop b2, which are not the most convincing or most aggressive way, let's say, to exploit his extra move. So here, if he goes back with the bishop, I have to find a plan. I can either go h5, try to avoid some g4 related ideas, or go a5, bishop a6, or a4. But it feels like for the moment I don't have to prove much. I have more space. All I have to do is just to try to counter his ideas. So for example, his next move is c4. And I'd like to have a good answer against it. It will be threatening c5. So I feel like a logical move would be a5. My idea is that after c4 to go bishop b4 check. I feel like it might be good. Bishop c3 might be actually good for him there. Anyway, this knight c3 is not very convincing. He wants to go knight a4, I assume. But I think I can just try to exchange these light squared bishops. And now his light squares are a bit weaker than they were before. And now, after I just go back, yeah, I don't think he can really do much. Okay, he can try to attack me on the king side, but I don't even think I will castle so quickly. I think I'll just go h5 to avoid any g4 related ideas, and maybe later bring my knight to f6 and see what happens from g8 like this. Also rook h6 is an interesting maneuver to bring it somewhere. Now the only question is whether I can effectively prevent his threats, and then my space advantage would be enough to at least put some pressure on him. Okay, now castling might be more logical than before. I don't think he has any threats, and I can just go rook b8 and try to get a4. Actually, he has a4 himself at some point, so I might want to even sacrifice this pawn to get an attack, or take and play a4 at some point. The position is very unbalanced, despite being completely closed. Yeah, there are a lot of options to open it now. That doesn't feel right for me. So I need to find a good spot for my piece. Let's start by putting this knight here. This knight is a bit annoying. I'm not sure how to deal with it. Now I need to find a sort of a plan without wasting too much time. But I don't see anything. Okay, I'll just go with the rook. Wait for now. He's also waiting. So I want to bring my rook to f6 somehow, but it's not so easy. Okay, let's try to put it here now. Wasting another move. Bishop f8 and then rook d6, rook f6. Hoping for the best. I have a minute less as usual. I have to play fast, and I can't really complain about my position, but I don't feel like I used my time to play so greatly that to justify my time management. So now I'm bringing my rook to f6. It's not such an amazing achievement, but at least it might put some pressure. Yeah, this c4 pawn push is increasing the pressure on my position, but it's also opening some files. Not sure in whose favor it might be. So now I can attack this first. Rook d2 he might play, and then I'll try to somehow play on the b file. I'm not sure how exactly. I can also try to get knight h2, knight f3, and maybe take it from there. Queen g4 related ideas. The endgame looks good for me. So, what does he even want? Okay, for now this pawn is a little bit weak. If I go rook b8, there's knight a6. Maybe I should just go c6. But I really want to double the rooks. I feel like I can try to sacrifice this pawn somehow. Not sure though. Knight a6 is annoying. And I have a minute less. Okay, so let's go here. Try to further attack b3. And somehow improve my position. Let's go here. I hope I'm not missing anything big. Oh, knight d7 is quite big, actually. Yeah, I completely missed it. Yeah, that's a pity. If he just takes and goes... Okay, I can go back. And the a5 is hanging, but it also might be good for me. In some cases, to use this file. Just have to play faster. I don't see a plan, unfortunately, so I just have to find a place to put my pieces. Maybe bishop here, queen back to c8, and hope to hold on. He wants to march forward with his pawns, but I'm not 100% sure it's just good for him. Might also be bad. So but knight a6 is an idea. Okay, that I didn't see. So let's go here. Here. Okay. Either way, I gotta do something. Oh, but he just takes and goes knight c7. Can actually take. Never mind. I have knight rook a6 as an idea, but it's not that convincing, unfortunately. And 38 seconds, of course. So I have to be much faster now. Let's put the king here. But he wants to go the knight. Okay. Where do I put the queen? It's really hard to come up with a move in this position. He goes. Let's just try to annoy him with the queen from this direction. I think queen c7 traps my rook, but I have to rely on some tricks involving queen f1. Okay, let's put it here for a move. Now let's say I wait 19 seconds. Not much time left. Oh, what am I doing? It's not very convincing. Okay, but I have to play something. He actually let me off the hook a little bit. 10 seconds, I have to be extremely fast. And go from here. and I won on time a rook down in the losing position. Actually, when I pre-moved d5 in this position, I pressed to cancel it, and I wanted to move the rook, but for some reason it didn't work. Just played d5 and cancelled it, and yeah, it still played it. Anyway, in this position, of course I could have repeated, but queen a3 is probably better try for a win. But yeah, with the time situation, it was hard for me to come up with a better move. And here somehow, I just had queen a3, I completely missed it. Had he played king a2, it was probably more difficult for me to do anything. Yeah, queen a3 was just mating. Anyway, the result is something I'm of course happy about. Let's have a quick look at the moves from the game. So the opening went kind of good for me. Queen g5, 97 I think is correct. Turning on the engine, as I'm hoping you can see. And yeah, now bishop e5 is correct actually, preventing knight c6. Yeah, after this his position is more or less fine. Okay, so bishop e5 might have been the best. Let's have a quick look. So instead of 97, bishop e5, d5. Thank you. And here 97, bishop c6, b takes c6, followed by some, yeah, I guess the dark squares, the light squares are really weak. So it feels like my opponent is really suffering here after in the opposite colored bishops after he takes. So bishop e5 would have been so much more accurate. And instead I chose to play queen knight g7, and then I feel like I still should be better because I'm pretending to be white, but I can't really find the plan. This b3 bishop b2 is not that bad after all, because position is very solid. You can close the queen side after a4 if I play a5, and I don't really have a plan. So at least I managed to exchange the light squares bishops, which should be in my favor, and then maneuver my knight. And here probably instead of castles should have just gone for knight g4 and followed with rook h6. This is my idea. Rook f6 and do it much more actively, and maybe he would have less time to go rook c1, c4, rook c2 and so on. Still feels like actually yes, queen b5 check real idea, so maybe it's not that convincing. King f8. Yeah, and he's still in time, but at least I saved like 4 moves. I don't know if he plays the same way like in the game. And I have time, but I'm not sure what to do with it. Queen is attacking f2, and then king g8, but why would this be better for black? I don't even see a plan. Anyways, I'm going to, in the game I just castled, which was probably inaccurate in this closed position. It took me much longer to bring the rook, and probably the best plan was just to take on c5 like the computer suggests. And here bishop c5, dc5, rook e8. Just play this closed, semi-closed position after the capture, and maybe f6, try to attack this pawn later, put the knight on e5. Probably black is slightly better. I just didn't play it because I couldn't come up with the follow-up for me. I couldn't see how to improve my position further, but yeah, sometimes it's not necessary to see the right plan when you just eliminate a strong piece of the opponent and you have more space. So here played rook e8, and I just didn't know what to do. Brought my rook finally to the square I wanted. Rook b8. Yeah, now to take on c5 might have been good actually. This rook b6 was a bit premature. And now rook e8 back, come on, I don't even see an idea. So computer likes my position here, but it's hard to point out a move for me or a plan. After rook a8, bishop d6, g6, Okay, white is not better maybe, but okay, I guess on the light squares I have some grip, but still cannot see how to attack any weaknesses. So I don't agree with the computer's evaluation. Queen f3, of course, missing knight d7, or queen f takes f3, knight d7. He fortunately didn't take. I went back. He took a pawn, although it wasn't as convincing as grabbing the exchange, because now his king might be slightly open in some cases, despite the fact that he is probably winning anyway. So I tried to annoy him a little bit to this queen h3. Then I went back a little bit. Of course he was completely winning, but here this rook b5 idea was ridiculous. Completely missed that he has the queen on b2 protecting. So I thought after rook b5 I can take queen d5, and somehow it worked later. Queen e6 was so much more tenacious, I would say, forcing him to find the queen sacrifice here. But knight takes b6. At least I get some chances. So in the game, of course, I'm completely lost if he just plays king c2. There's no follow-up. Although knight c4. So I'm threatening knight a3 check. So maybe he has to find knight b6, actually, not to give the material back. Rook b7, queen f5, and then better. Okay, so here, after this knight c4, I have some chances. He still has to find some moves. Of course, in the game he just took, and suddenly I'm the one who's winning. He has to go back, and this position with the material equality, but his king completely exposed, is just winning for black. But with my clock situation, which was far from ideal, I couldn't come up with the right way. Okay, so far it was good, but just here, I predicted he will play king a2 in this position, and yeah, I didn't see the follow-up. So as I mentioned earlier, in this position, just queen a4. So here, queen a4, just preparing rook b5, and I don't think he has anything against it. Was just completely winning. Instead, I played this rook b5. Here, I missed mate in 3, and decided to go for this. Made a horrible pre-move, which I couldn't cancel on time, and then won on time. Quite a poetic finish for a complicated game. Hope you learned something from this game and enjoyed watching it. And if you want to learn some more, then keep watching the next videos.